Hi, third grade. Today we are estimating and measuring liquid volume. In the practice center today, we talked a lot about what a liter is. Remember that a liter is the unit that we use to measure liquid volume. And we're going to be referencing that liter a lot today. And we're going to compare a lot of other containers and bottles and pans and pots. And we're going to compare it to a liter. We need to think, is it more than a liter, less than a liter, or about a liter? So it's very important that we can visualize in our heads, what does a liter look like? A liter is about the same size as those bigger water bottles that a lot of people bring with them to school, like those hydro flasks or those big Gatorade water bottles that a lot of athletes take to their games or their practices. A larger water bottle is about 1 liter. You can also think about the soda bottles that a lot of people buy at the grocery store, the ones that you would not sit and drink in one setting. You would put it in your fridge, open it when you want a cup of soda, pour it, then put it back in the fridge. Those large bottles are 2 liters. So if you can imagine what half of one of those bottles looks like, you know what a liter is. So let's go ahead and get started. We are actually doing the practice and homework page for lesson 10.7. This is page 603 to 604. We are skipping that writing question, number 8. So go ahead right now, if you didn't already, cross off number 8. Number 1 was already done for us, so let's start with number 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Here are our answers for 2 through 6. Pause the video right now and check your answers. If you need some help, keep on listening. Okay, let's talk about number 2. Number 2 is a small milk container. These are the containers like the ones you find in the cafeteria. They're small, they're itty bitty. So this would be less than a liter. Remember, a liter is about the size of a larger water bottle, so that's definitely less. Number 3, there's our water bottle that we keep talking about. Remember, a water bottle is about 1 liter. Number 4, a spoonful of water. That is definitely less than 1 liter. Remember, that water bottle, that's about 1 liter. So if I only have a spoonful of water, it is definitely less. Number 5, a bathtub is more than 1 liter. Remember the water bottle. That water bottle is 1 liter. If I poured that water bottle into the bathtub, there would be a lot more room in it. So it is definitely more than 1 liter. And finally, that eyedropper, we sometimes use these in science class, or sometimes babies get fed medicine or take their medicine with an eyedropper, or sometimes pets. It's very small if you've never seen an eyedropper. It's smaller than a pencil usually. So that is less than 1 liter, smaller than the water bottle. So less it is. Let's move on to number 7. Okay, the directions here were really important. It says to use the pictures for number 7. Alan pours water into 4 glasses that are the same size. So we can see the 4 glasses here. The shaded part on the glass shows how much water is in each of them. So if I look at number 7, it says which glass has the most amount of water. You should be able to visually see that D has the most. It goes up higher. It fills almost the whole glass. None of the other glasses do that. So D definitely has the most. Number 8, we were skipping. Put an X through it and let's jump ahead to the back. Number 1 on the back says that we have a bathroom sink and it is filled. So picture in your head a bathroom sink. It could be the ones in the bathroom at school. It could be one at home. Visualize a bathroom sink. Now, picture your water bottle. When we compare the two, that water bottle is a lot less. So that means that sink is definitely more than 1 liter. Number 2, if Kyle needs 1 liter of water, and his choices are a small glass, a spoon, or a vase, which one would be about a liter? Well, let's talk about this small glass first. A small glass might be like a cup that you use at like dinner time, filled up with water. That I think would be a small glass. So it's definitely smaller than that water bottle that we keep referencing. A small glass would definitely be less than a liter. So we should eliminate small glass. We should also eliminate spoon because my goodness, a spoon is so much smaller than a liter. So our only option is a vase. If you've ever seen flowers in a container, it might be glass, it might be plastic, it might be like see-through, or it might be painted a color. That container that holds flowers, that is a vase. So a vase is definitely about the size of that larger water bottle we keep talking about. So a vase is about a liter. All right, moving on to number 3, 4, 5, and 6. These 4 problems are all a review. So these may not have anything to do with liters or even measurement at all. They might not. So let's get started with number 3. The answer to number 3 is 6 glasses. If you need some help with that, keep on listening. Okay, number 3 is a division problem. If Cecil has 6 ice cubes and he wants to put 1 ice cube in each glass, that's 6 divided by 1, 6 ice cubes divided by 1 in each group. Our answer is 6. We would need 6 glasses. If we put 1 ice cube in a glass and there are 6 ice cubes, we would need 6 glasses. If you needed to draw that out, you could have. So I'm going to use X's for my ice cubes. Here's 1 glass, 2 glasses, 3 glasses, 4 glasses, 5 glasses, 6 glasses. Notice how I put 1 ice cube in each glass. I used up all 6 of Cecil's ice cubes. We have a total of 6 glasses. Number 4 is a great question. This is from last chapter when we were learning about fractions. Here's our answer. 3 muffins. Keep listening if you need some help with that. So we are trying to figure out what 1/4 of 12 is. Because it says 1/4, we can draw 4 groups, and I know 1/4 would be one of these groups. Now I have 12 total. He did not put 12 muffins in a bag. He is putting 1/4 of these 12 in a bag. So if I partition these 12 muffins into 4 groups, I can look at one of the groups, and that would be 1/4 of 12. So let's go ahead and partition 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. If we look at one of the groups right here, that's 1/4. So how many are in 1/4? 3. And that is our answer. The answer to number 5 is 656. I'm assuming that most of you wrote it like this in numbers, 656. But we've been talking a lot about how we can write and say times in different ways. So another way to say 656 would be 4 minutes before 7. So if you wrote it differently than the standard form like that, that would be acceptable as well. I guess you could also technically say 56 minutes after 6, but not many people would say that. I think anybody would know what you would mean, but normally when we are past that half-hour mark, if we're past the 6, we normally talk about minutes before an hour instead of minutes after an hour. So let's take a closer look at how we got 6:56. If you got that on your own, you may jump ahead and check number 6. All right, so here is our clock. When we are reading a clock, we always look at the little hour hand first. Think of this little hand like a little kid. We always want the little kids to go first, right? Same thing goes with our clock. The little hand needs to be read first. So whenever I look at this is really tricky because it looks like it is right on the 7. But be careful. When I look at this minute hand up here, you should notice that it is really, really, really close to the 12. If it's really close to the 12, that means it's really close to 7 o'clock. In 4 more minutes, it will be 7 o'clock, but we're not quite there. It is almost at the 7, but not quite. It is 6. It is 6 something. So on my paper, so I don't forget that it's 6 something, I'm going to write the 6. All right, so what I noticed a lot of you doing last week when we were doing time is I noticed you were extending this hour hand and trying to look at it that way. Don't extend the hour hand. You can extend the minute hand if you're having trouble seeing what mark it lands at. That's the only reason we extend that minute hand, to see which mark it is at. There's no need to extend the hour hand. You need to use your brain whenever you're thinking about the hour. Extending the hour hand is not going to help you at all. You just need to think that through. So now that we know we're in the 6 hour, let's take a look at this minute hand that I just extended. Okay, so when I'm figuring this out, I like to start at the 12. I start at the 12 and I count by 5s until I cannot go any further. Here we go. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. You'll notice if I try to keep going, I can't go because I will pass my mark. So I'm at 55. I'm going to count by 1s now since I can't go any further. 55, 56. So the time is 6:56. Okay, moving on to number 6. Here is our answer. 1 3/4 inches. I really, really wish that I could have a ruler on my screen right now, but there's no way for me to do that. So I need you to listen to my words if you did not get 1 3/4 inches. So the first thing you want to do is pick up your ruler and find the inch side. Since it says we want to measure to the nearest 1/4 inch, we definitely want to be on the right side of the ruler. We want to line the beginning of the ruler up with this dotted line right here. Now when I line it up, I look down my ruler and I find the mark that this dotted line hits. If you need to do the box in trick, you can. This line right here is between 1 and 2. So I know I have 1 full inch, and then I'm going to have a fraction. So if I box in that whole inch between 1 and 2 and I cut it into 4 pieces, you'll notice that this line, it's closest to 3/4 inches. So there is our answer. Great job today, my friends. You may look up on the board for your next activity.